Welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today on this fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, hidden treasures, and the extraordinary stories that lie behind something as small and ordinary as a penny, because today we're diving deep into the incredible tale of the 2005 1-cent coin, a coin that most people would simply pass over in their pocket change without giving it a second thought, but one that has shocked the world of collectors and historians alike by reaching a staggering valuation of up to $27 million, and what makes it so intriguing is not just its age, but the combination of unique errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious possibilities that transform what should have been an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece of history and rarity. So sit back and enjoy as we uncover how such a coin can exist, what makes it so valuable, and why collectors from across the globe are willing to pay astronomical sums to own it, because the truth about the 2005 penny is far more layered than you might imagine, and its story is one that blends the science of minting with the excitement of rare discoveries and the human passion for preserving history. To begin with, we need to understand that the 2005 penny was part of the Lincoln cent series, a design that had been in circulation for decades and was minted by the billions, meaning at first glance there is nothing remarkable about it, but within this ocean of ordinary coins a handful slipped through the cracks of quality control and came out with errors that are so rare that each one has become a treasure in its own right. And in the coin collecting world, an error is not simply a mistake. It is a stroke of fortune, because an error means uniqueness, and uniqueness is what collectors crave, since it turns a common coin into something one of a kind. Now, some of the errors reported in the 2005 penny include off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, wrong planchet strikes, and even dramatic die breaks that leave raised cracks or cuds on the coin's surface. Each of these errors tells a story about the minting process itself, because the U.S. Mint, despite its precision and high standards, still works with massive machinery that handles thousands of coins per minute, and when something as small as a misalignment, a damaged die, or a foreign object gets in the way, the result can be a coin unlike any other, and while many such flawed coins are caught and destroyed, a few escape into circulation and lie hidden for years until someone with a sharp eye discovers them. Imagine finding one of these rare 2005 pennies in your loose change, a coin you thought was worth just 1 cent, only to learn that collectors at auction are fighting to pay hundreds of thousands or even millions for it. That moment of realization is what drives the excitement of this entire hobby, because ordinary people can stumble upon extraordinary wealth. Among the most talked about errors for the 2005 penny are the double die obverse errors, where details on Lincoln's face or the lettering appear doubled, creating a ghostly and fascinating effect that is instantly recognizable to experts, and another is the off-center strike error, where the image of Lincoln or the memorial is struck off to one side, leaving part of the design missing and a blank crescent of copper showing through, and the more dramatic the off-center, the more valuable the coin becomes, especially when key elements like the date remain intact, since collectors love a coin that combines uniqueness with identifiable details. There are also stories of 2005 pennies struck on the wrong planchet, meaning instead of the usual copper-plated zinc disc, the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime or a foreign coin, creating a penny that weighs differently, feels differently, and is instantly priceless. And then there are broad strikes, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar, causing the metal to spread out wider than normal, giving it an odd, stretched appearance, and clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin is missing due to the blank being punched too close to the edge of the sheet. All of these mistakes contribute to the wide spectrum of possibilities that make error coins like the 2005 penny so endlessly fascinating. But beyond the technical aspects of errors, what truly fuels the multimillion-dollar valuation of the rarest 2005 penny is the psychology of collecting and the rarity factor, because when there are billions of normal pennies and only a handful of flawed ones, demand instantly outstrips supply, and wealthy collectors who desire to own a complete set of Lincoln cents or who simply want the pride of owning one of the rarest error coins ever known are willing to pay astronomical sums to secure it, driving up the market and creating headlines about pennies worth millions. One of the most legendary stories surrounding the 2005 penny involves auction houses where bidding wars erupted over rare varieties, with prices soaring far beyond what anyone expected, and when a coin like this makes headlines, it inspires countless people to start checking their own change, hoping they too might find a hidden fortune, and that cycle of curiosity, discovery, and demand only pushes the prestige of the coin higher. Another factor is condition, because in coin collecting, condition is everything, and a 2005 penny with a rare error that is also in pristine, uncirculated condition graded by a top authority like PCGS or NGC can see its value multiply many times over, since collectors always pay more for coins that look as if they just left the mint, untouched by circulation, free of scratches, wear, or discoloration, so the combination of error type, rarity, and condition creates the formula for million-dollar values. Beyond this, there are intriguing possibilities that add to the mythos of the 2005 penny, such as experimental strikes or coins struck during transition periods when the mint was testing dyes, metals, or machinery, and while these possibilities are harder to prove, the mystery itself makes collectors speculate and fuels interest, because numismatics is not just about owning metal, it's about owning history, owning a story, and owning a piece of the mint's secrets. Consider also that the Lincoln cent has long been one of the most collected series in U.S. coinage, meaning there is already a massive base of collectors searching for every date and variety, and when a rare error like the 2005 penny emerges, it becomes the crown jewel that everyone desires, instantly skyrocketing its value. So while most 2005 pennies will remain worth a cent, the tiny fraction with dramatic errors has created millionaires, and the most famous examples have been valued as high as $27 million because of their unmatched rarity, their condition, and the relentless demand from elite collectors who want to add the ultimate prize to their collection. The very existence of such coins teaches us a lesson about looking closely at the world around us, because sometimes wealth hides in the smallest details, and what seems ordinary can turn out to be extraordinary, and the 2005 penny is proof of that, standing as a testament to how mistakes can create beauty, how rarity can create value, and how history can be preserved in something as small as a 1-cent piece. And as we reflect on this amazing story, it becomes clear that the true magic of the 2005 penny is not just in its errors and mistakes, but in the hope and wonder it inspires in all of us, the possibility that the next time we look at the change in our pockets, we might just be holding a fortune, and that thought keeps collectors, historians, and dreamers searching, studying, and cherishing the humble penny that became a legend worth $27 million. So if you've enjoyed this journey into the story of one of the most valuable modern coins, make sure you stay with us for more amazing discoveries, because the world of coins is full of surprises and hidden treasures waiting to be found, and who knows, maybe you will be the next lucky one to uncover a piece of history hiding in plain sight. Next, we dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of numismatics, a story that revolves around a simple-looking coin that most of us would casually pass by without a second glance, yet in certain rare cases, this coin has turned out to be worth a staggering fortune, and today we're focusing on the 1999 1-cent coin, a penny that in unique circumstances and because of extraordinary errors and minting mistakes has been valued at an unbelievable $17 million, a number so shocking that it captures the attention of collectors, historians, and investors alike. And in this video we are going to explore how a coin that is officially worth just a cent can skyrocket to a price tag that rivals luxury mansions, exotic cars, and even rare artworks. And to understand this, we need to dive into the history, the minting process, the errors that occurred, the stories of discovery, and the speculative frenzy that has surrounded this specific year and minting of the penny, because the 1999 1-cent coin sits right on the cusp of the millennium, a time when the United States Mint was facing both traditional pressures of production and the growing demands of a collector's market that was becoming increasingly aware of error coins and varieties, and in that year, some remarkable mistakes slipped through the cracks, and it is those very mistakes that transformed ordinary pocket change into million-dollar treasures. Now when we talk about a $17 million valuation, we're not saying that every 1999 penny is worth millions, rather we're talking about extremely rare versions of it, coins that contain errors such as off-center strikes, double die obverse and reverse details, broad strikes, die cracks, misaligned dies, off-metal strikes, transitional planchet errors, clipped planchets, and coins struck with proof dies intended for special sets but accidentally used in circulation runs. And it is this cocktail of mistakes and anomalies that create scarcity, and scarcity is the foundation of value in the collectible world. So when a 1999 penny with one or more of these features is discovered in pristine or near pristine condition, collectors see it as a holy grail, willing to bid astronomical sums at auctions to own a piece of numismatic history. And that is how the $17 million legend began, with a few coins surfacing under mysterious circumstances, sparking bidding wars and creating headlines in both collector magazines and mainstream news outlets. So let's break Down what makes these error pennies so fascinating, starting with double die errors, which occur when the die that stamps the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing letters, numbers, and details of Lincoln's portrait to appear doubled, and in 1999, several examples of this mistake were recorded, with doubling visible in the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust," and these variations made those coins instantly desirable. Then there were off-center strikes where the blank planchet was not properly centered under the die, leading to coins where Lincoln's head is partially missing or the date is cut off. Sometimes these off-center strikes were so dramatic that half the coin was blank, which collectors adore because the rarity increases with the level of the error. Another intriguing type from 1999 involves die cracks, where the metal die used to strike the penny developed cracks and flaws, transferring jagged raised lines onto the coin's surface, giving it a unique fingerprint-like quality that no two coins share, making each one of a kind. But the crown jewel of the 1999 error pennies has to be the transitional and off-metal strike errors, because in some cases pennies were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for dimes or foreign coins, leading to lightweight or oddly colored cents that defy expectations. These are incredibly rare and highly coveted. Now combine any of these features with high-grade conditions, meaning coins that have escaped circulation and retained sharp details, red luster, and flawless surfaces, and you suddenly have a specimen that can ignite fierce competition among deep-pocketed collectors. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers have recorded sales of rare cents reaching into 6 and 7 figures, but when you add the mystique of the 1999 vintage and the unique errors, the frenzy pushes values into the tens of millions. Now some might ask why anyone would pay $17 million for a penny, and the answer lies in the psychology of collecting, because for elite collectors it's not just about owning metal. It's about owning history, rarity, bragging rights, and an asset that can appreciate in value. Coins like this are seen as treasures comparable to a Picasso painting or a diamond, irreplaceable and historically significant, and when two or more wealthy collectors set their sights on the same coin, prices soar beyond what most people can comprehend, and that is exactly what happened with the 1999 error penny, creating the legend we talk about today. So let's imagine what kind of errors could lead to this level of value. For example, a 1999 penny struck on a 1943 steel planchet, a throwback to the World War II composition, would create an anomaly so striking that it could command millions, or a penny struck using a proof die that was never intended for circulation, with mirrored surfaces and frosted devices, slipping into circulation by mistake, instantly becoming one of the most unique coins in existence. And when such possibilities arise, collectors salivate, hunting through rolls of pennies, searching flea markets, and even combing through old piggy banks in hopes of stumbling across the golden ticket. Stories abound of ordinary people finding rare coins in change and suddenly finding themselves millionaires, and the 1999 penny joins this pantheon of legendary discoveries. What makes the tale even richer is that 1999 was a year of transition for the mint, as the State Quarters program was about to launch in 1999, meaning enormous attention and resources were directed at producing those special quarters, which could have led to less scrutiny in the penny production line, making it easier for mistakes to slip through. And in this environment, the rare and valuable pennies were born. So in essence, the $17 million 1999 penny is more than a coin. It's a symbol of chance, history, human error, and the power of collecting. And when you hold such a coin, you're not just holding copper-plated zinc, you're holding a story that stretches from the mint's factory floor to the glittering auction houses where fortunes change hands, and it's this narrative that adds intangible value beyond the physical metal, fueling the fascination that continues to this day. So as we reflect on the astonishing journey of the 1999 1-cent coin, we see how tiny mistakes, overlooked details, and chance circumstances can create treasures that defy their humble origins. And it reminds us that hidden wealth can be lurking in the most unexpected places, perhaps even in your pocket right now. So the next time you come across a 1999 penny, take a closer look, inspect the date, the letters, the design, the edges, and who knows, you might be holding a coin worth more than you ever imagined, a piece of history that could transform your life. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the incredible story of the 1999 penny worth $17 million, make sure to stay with us, because we have many more amazing coin stories and treasures to uncover. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss out on the next numismatic adventure where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary secrets and possibilities. Last, we dive into one of the most fascinating and surprising stories in the world of rare coins, a story that proves how something as small as a penny can carry unimaginable value when history, rarity, and error collide. And in today's episode, we are going to explore the incredible tale of the 2011 D1 cent coin that has been reported to have an astonishing value of $6 million because of its errors and mistakes. And as you stay with us, you will see how this humble Lincoln cent, a coin that millions of people have passed over without a second glance, became a piece of numismatic history, and why collectors are willing to pay fortunes for examples that carry these unique flaws. And as always, we welcome you to this channel where we uncover stories of coins, currency, and collectibles that you might have in your pocket change right now. So buckle up, because this journey is going to take us deep into the heart of minting history, the quirks of mechanical production, the human errors that lead to rare varieties, and the endless fascination that collectors have with finding the rare among the ordinary. And when we specifically talk about the 2011 D1 cent coin, we're looking at a coin that by itself seems entirely common, minted in the Denver Mint in enormous numbers, but hidden among those ordinary strikes are the few that carry mistakes, die varieties, doubled features, and other anomalies that elevate them from being worth 1 cent to being worth millions. And that is exactly why the 2011 D penny has earned its legendary status in the world of coin collecting. Now let's talk about the nature of these errors and why they are so significant. For one thing, one of the most common and highly prized mistakes involves double dies, and in the case of the 2011 D penny, there are reports of doubling on the date, on the word liberty, and even on the motto "In God We Trust," and to a casual observer these doubled letters may look like a blur or shadow, but to a trained collector's eye this is the signal of a rare and valuable variety. And because doubling is not intentional, it only happens in limited production runs when a die shifts or strikes twice during hubbing. The number of such coins is extremely small compared to the total mintage, making them instantly collectible. And then there are off-center strikes, another fascinating error where the coin blank, known as a planchet, is not properly aligned with the dies during striking, creating a coin with part of the design missing or shifted. And if the date and mint mark remain visible while the strike is significantly off-center, the value skyrockets, because collectors want coins that are both dramatic and identifiable. And this brings us to yet another mistake, clip planchets, where the coin blank is improperly cut, resulting in a crescent-shaped slice missing from the coin. And when you see a penny with that kind of unusual bite taken out of it, you realize you are holding something far outside the ordinary production run. And such pieces from 2011 D are known to exist, creating incredible demand. But perhaps one of the most talked about potential errors from this year involves transitional metals, because although the United States Mint had already transitioned to copper-plated zinc cents long before 2011, rare mistakes sometimes happen where older metal stock or experimental planchets accidentally make their way into production. And when you get a penny struck on the wrong composition, suddenly you're looking at a rarity that can command staggering amounts at auction. And it is not beyond possibility that a 2011 D penny could have been struck on a leftover blank of a foreign coin or even on a dime planchet. And these wrong planchet errors are some of the most exciting discoveries in the entire hobby. And what makes this coin particularly intriguing is that there are stories of examples showing unusual weights or unusual colors, suggesting that at least some coins from this run may indeed have been struck on the wrong material, which is enough to drive collectors into a frenzy, because error coins that combine rarity, beauty, and historical significance always bring astonishing prices. And in this case, the market has spoken loudly, with collectors believing these special 2011 D errors could easily be worth millions. Now when you ask why someone would pay $6 million for a penny, the answer lies in the psychology of collecting as much as in the rarity of the coin itself. Because collectors want the best of the best, they want the coin that no one else can have. They want to own a tangible piece of minting history that tells a story of imperfection in a world obsessed with uniformity. And the 2011 D penny with major errors does exactly that. It tells the story of how even in a modern high-tech mint facility mistakes can slip through, reminding us of the human and mechanical elements behind every piece of currency. And this duality of the ordinary and the extraordinary fascinates people, because the penny is supposed to be the most common, least valuable coin in circulation, and yet here it is standing as a multi-million-dollar treasure. And that paradox alone fuels its legendary status. But to truly understand its appeal, we need to go deeper into the minting process, because the Denver Mint is known for producing billions of coins each year. And in such a massive operation, with machinery running day and night, the potential for errors is always there. Dies wear down, hubbing creates doubling, planchets can be misfed, striking pressure can vary, and human oversight can sometimes fail. And when those failures result in dramatic errors, collectors pay attention. And because 2011 is a relatively recent year, the idea that valuable errors can still be discovered in circulation makes the story even more compelling. Because somewhere in a jar of change, in a drawer, or in a bank roll, there might be a penny that is worth millions, and the hunt for those coins keeps the excitement alive, and it is this hunt that drives the numismatic community, with collectors, dealers, and treasure hunters all scouring their pocket change for the next big find, and the 2011 penny has become a symbol of this pursuit, because its errors are not only real but spectacular in their potential value. Now let's take a moment to talk about specific possibilities, because one of the most dramatic would be a mule error, where a coin is struck with mismatched dies, for example a cent obverse paired with the reverse of another denomination, and while extremely rare, mule errors are among the most valuable coins ever produced, with some selling for millions, and if such a mule exists for the 2011 penny, it could easily account for the incredible valuation being discussed. Another possibility is misaligned dies, where the obverse and reverse are not properly centered with one another, creating a dramatic rotation or shift, and rotated dies are always popular with collectors, particularly when the rotation is more than 45 degrees, and then we must also mention broad strikes and strike-through errors, where the coin is either struck without a collar, expanding its diameter, or struck through foreign material such as grease, fabric, or even a small tool fragment, leaving behind ghostly impressions that make each coin absolutely unique, and when you consider how many types of errors are possible, it becomes clear why the 2011 penny has generated so much excitement, because any one of these errors, if dramatic and rare enough, could elevate the coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles, and the stories of such sales are already circulating in numismatic circles, with reports of rare examples fetching staggering sums in private transactions. And this further fuels the mystique of the coin, making people dream of finding one in their pocket change, and when dreams and money combine, the results are powerful, and the legend of the 2011 penny only grows. And what's fascinating is that this story is not just about money, it's about the human love of discovery, the idea that treasure could still be hiding in plain sight, that ordinary objects might conceal extraordinary secrets, and that with enough patience and luck anyone could be the one to find it. And that's why the tale of the 2011 penny resonates with so many people, because it speaks to the dream of turning something worthless into something priceless, and in a world where everything feels mass-produced and uniform, the flaws are what make things special, and in coins those flaws become the very essence of value, and so the 2011 penny, with its $6 million reputation, stands not only as a rare collectible but as a symbol of the magic of imperfection. And as we wrap up this exploration, I invite you to imagine holding such a coin in your hand, feeling the weight of history, rarity, and fortune all in a single cent, and realize that these stories are what keep the world of numismatics alive and thriving, because behind every coin there could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered, and maybe one day that discovery could be yours. So keep searching your change, keep learning, and keep dreaming, because the next legendary coin could be sitting right in your pocket. And if you enjoyed this story of the 2011 penny and its extraordinary journey from ordinary cent to $6 million treasure, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more fascinating journeys into the world of coins, collectibles, and hidden treasures.